This is the story of a massive economic shift. This is the arithmetic of devotion. In 2023, Americans spent $147 billion on their animals. To put that in perspective, this single sector is larger than the entire gross domestic product of Hungary. It generates more annual revenue than the NFL, the NBA, and the MLB combined. This figure follows a trajectory that began with a functional, working partnership 15,000 years ago. It marks the shift from animals as tools for hunting and herding to a society where animal keeping is a standardized, nearly universal middle-class experience. Analyzing this spending requires looking past the animals and looking at the humans holding the leash. The question is whether these billions represent a new era of household wealth or a market-based response to a change in how Americans live together. For most of history, animal keeping was tied to utility. That changed in the 19th century, when the Victorian middle class began treating dogs as markers of moral character. To love a non-working animal was to demonstrate a capacity for tender feeling that was uncorrupted by economic calculation. Following World War II, federal housing subsidies created the modern American suburb. This geography offered the perfect physical space for pet ownership, private yards, and detached homes, but it also created a significant physical distance between neighbors. This suburban design lacked the third places where informal community once happened. Without neighborhood squares or dense urban walkability, the casual social contact that built traditional civic networks began to erode. As neighborhoods grew quieter and extended families moved apart, the American home became more isolated. The modern companion animal moved into the emotional vacuum created by this disappearing social infrastructure. In 1979, dog owners in Berkeley established the first off-leash dog park. While it looked like a simple exercise area, researchers view it as an attempt to manufacture social capital. The dog park provides a stable environment for weak tie interactions between strangers who would otherwise never speak. This social function is reinforced by the pet-parent framework. By elevating animals to the status of family members, owners adopt a set of care obligations that mirror the standards of child-rearing. The multi-billion-dollar doggy daycare industry provides a solution for the specific guilt this framework produces. For owners who feel that leaving an animal alone for 8 hours is a failure of care, daycare offers a way to purchase socialization and relief from the anxiety of absence. This desire for connection also drives the market for dog DNA testing. For an owner with a mixed-breed rescue, genetic data provides a narrative biography. It anchors the animal's personality in a story of ancestry and deep history. The loneliness thesis holds that these premium services function as commercial tools. They provide a way for individuals to navigate an increasingly disconnected social world by focusing their attachment and their spending on the beings who never leave. There is a more clinical explanation for these numbers. This graph shows how the growth of dual-income, childless households correlates with the rise in cut spending. On this account, the $147 billion is simply a result of more people having more discretionary income to spend on the things they value. This wealth coincided with a massive leap in veterinary technology. Human-grade interventions like chemotherapy, MRIs, and complex surgeries are now standard offerings in most American cities, providing life-extending options that were not available a generation ago. This technology created the problem of economic euthanasia. Owners now face the decision to either pay several $1,000s for emergency care or lose their animal. The pet insurance market grew to manage this financial risk. For many, a monthly premium is a way to purchase relief from the fear that they might one day reach a limit on what they can afford to pay to save a life. The abundance thesis suggests that pet humanization is not a symptom of isolation. It is the byproduct of a society that has become wealthy enough and technologically advanced enough to act on its ancient attachment to animals. Regardless of the cause, the market has attracted significant corporate investment. Since 2017, private equity firms have spent more than $50 billion acquiring independent veterinary practices, seeking the reliable returns of the pet industry. The financial logic centers on the fact that an owner's love creates inelastic demand. Because people are willing to spend nearly anything to save a beloved animal, consolidated clinics gain significant power to increase prices for medical care. This consolidation represents the organization of emotional bonds by capital. It converts the intensity of a private relationship into a predictable and highly efficient engine for revenue. This corporatized economy carries costs that are rarely discussed. Producing premium, meat-heavy diets for tens of millions of animals creates an ecological footprint roughly 1/4 as large as the total environmental impact of American animal agriculture. The high cost of humanized care has also created a two-tier system of welfare. While affluent owners pay for specialty medicine, owners in lower-income communities often face limited options, relying on an overburdened and under-resourced shelter system to catch the fallout. The final cost is visible in the animals themselves. Breeds like the French Bulldog are selectively bred for cute, infant-like features. These aesthetic choices directly compromise the animal's ability to breathe, creating a cycle of chronic suffering managed by expensive medical intervention. The $147 billion pet economy is a document of modern America. It reveals a society that is technically advanced and deeply devoted to its animals, yet one that has largely traded its human community for a commodified version of uncomplicated love. This comprehensive analysis is derived from the second book of the massive 30-volume series, To Preserve, Protect, and Defend the Soul of America. The book titled Volume 2, Fentanyl Nation, Inside America's Opioid Catastrophe, authored by Sue B. Howell. The book is available to purchase in all Amazon bookstores worldwide right now. Please subscribe and press the bell icon to get notifications.